guys, and welcome to the Lit Loft. My name's Danny.
Hi, my name's Rich.
And this intro has taken a while to film because we've basically just been playing this awesome guitar.
Yeah, been up here for days. Just haven't left, haven't slept, eaten.
So today we're going to show you our top 5 upgrades you can make to the Epiphone Les Paul. So these are our tips or upgrades, thoughts. There's lots of different brands, different things you can do to any guitar, of course. But tell us a little bit of the backstory about this guitar.
Well, okay, so without kind of boring you to death, this was actually the second guitar I ever got. So my dad grabbed it from a second-hand shop in Eastbourne, long gone now. Probably picked up for 200, 250 quid.
Yeah. And
this is probably going back to the mid-90s. This is actually a 92, 91 Samick Korean-made Epiphone Les Paul, which I hear are pretty decent.
Yeah.
As they go. But yeah, this has been sitting in, well, wherever I've been and lived for years and years, neglected. I've had it. I actually took it on the cruise ship with me and actually played it for 6 months, 9 months in its old condition, which was awful. Yeah. I mean, it had like the frets were done in. This was like barely switching. Crackly pots. This, anyway. But it desperately needed an overhaul.
Yeah. So a big shout out quickly to Mark Cards at Eastbourne Guitar Workshop, who did all the work to this guitar. Yeah. So obviously if you buy a new Epiphone Les Paul, you're not going to need a new frets, you're not going to need half the work that this guitar's had done. So we're going to focus on the things that, if you do have an Epiphone Les Paul, like a new one or a Les Paul style guitar, that doesn't need necessarily loads of functional work. We're just going to show you our top 5 upgrades we think that can turn your guitar into something really special. So if we start from the top, something you sometimes is overlooked. I mean, I used to overlook it until chatting to Mark and some other people who just don't stop going on about how much of an important thing it is to have a well-cut nut and ideally a bone nut. Yeah,
so we've got a bone nut here that Mark made from scratch. But yeah, like you said, it's cut to the string gauge. So I think this has got the heavy 9s on it, so it's like the thicker 46, 9 to 46s anyway. But that helps massively with tuning and
actually the way it sounds. Well. Like think, before I would have just thought it probably, from looking at it, it probably holds the string a bit better, so you're going to have more tuning stability. But it really does affect the tone of the guitar.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is, for me, when I was playing this, when I first got it back, compared to what it used to be like, obviously all the improvements were absolutely magnified 10 times because of such of the condition it was in. So for me, it was like, man, this is awesome. Yeah. But even then, you still notice it, even just on a standard, off-the-shelf one, if you like.
Yeah. So the second upgrade that was done, if you work your way down,
where are we?
To this bad boy.
Right. Switch.
So yeah, a new switch put in, which was, is it Switchcraft?
Switchcraft, yeah.
So, real high quality switch put in. Before it was cutting out, wasn't it? It was all over the place. Yeah. Or sometimes, if it was ever so slightly off middle as well, you'd kind of...
Yeah, it would cut,
It would cut, yeah.
So this is a nice solid, you could probably not hear that, but that's a really nice under your finger. Yeah. It just switches and there's no crackling or any crap in there. So. And
it is important because, especially when you've got that adrenaline at a gig and you hit that bridge pickup, you do, without knowing it, you really give it some. Yeah. So you want that reliability and, solid switch that's there. So number 3, this is what most people would think of first, I would think, when you're upgrading something on a guitar. First thing to go are usually the pickups. Yeah. Chuck them out. To be fair, the old ones didn't sound too bad. They had a nice sustain to them, but they were probably a bit hot.
Yeah, these are. I think these are the what do you call it? Mojo pickups. They're quite low output, just PAF humbuckers.
Yeah. So
I've got the. I was just seeing. I was looking off camera. I've got the bag of of old parts that were stripped out of this thing. So there's all sorts going on there. Old pickups, just the guts. So I'll keep that for
giblets.
For memento. Yeah.
So, you know, depending on what you want out of a Les Paul, some people would like hot pickups. Me and Rich tend to prefer low output pickups because you hear more of the guitar, and at the end of the day you can always add more gain, compression through your pedal choices or your amp. But if your guitar is already hitting everything hot to go, you know, straight away, sometimes it's harder to dial it back.
Well, it gives you the headroom, right, doesn't it? Sound wise, so you can, like you said, add all your stuff on it. So,
you know, these are Mojo PAFs, handmade and hand wound in the UK. I think the key thing, if you're looking for our recommendation of pickups, is the PAF. Look for something that says PAF on it, PAFs, and preferably low output to get some of the sounds that we've got at the moment. So, working our way down again, you get to this little section here. So these are all new CTS pots. So before, the taper was quite drastic. So you'd kind of, between 10 and 1, there wasn't a lot of change.
You'd just fall off a cliff almost, wouldn't you? It's like suddenly it's on, then it's gone. There's no in between. But
by getting some good quality pots in there that taper like that, you're almost opening your guitar up to 10 more sounds. I know it sounds silly, but having that little nuance that you can just touch it, you know, either side, and you get such a different sound. It's kind of just giving the new guitar a lease of life, and something that's sometimes overlooked as well. These are almost as important, if not more important, than anything else on the guitar. Because even if you've got pickups that aren't that great, if you're getting a nice smooth taper in between kind of clean to hot, at least you've got something to work with and somewhere to go.
I suppose you could always think there's this section, because if you kind of x-rayed this, behind that obviously is just the wires, and then literally you've got the output jack coming out in there. So it's almost like the gateway to the amp, isn't it? That's what's allowing the pickups to feed through before it gets to your amp and what you hear. So yeah, it is important. I mean, that's more knobs than I normally am used to. Excuse the pun, but you know, if you're that sort of a Les Paul guy, I mean, obviously, if you've watched the videos before, always playing the telly. To be honest, I haven't touched that for a few weeks, to be honest. But yeah, getting used to this, and also switching between the different pickups where you can set your volumes differently, and it's, you know, it's great. So again, even just that alone is like loads more tone in it.
And finally, tip number 5, a new input socket. Because much like the pickup selector switch, you really don't want something crackling, and you want a good solid connection in between everything, or else what's the point?
So I mean, like you said, I mean, with other things you could go, I haven't done with this, for instance, you could go as far as, for instance, even going onto the tuners. You could put a locking set of tuners on there.
But I think that's a good example, because when we looked at these, we thought that probably one of the first things that need to go. But if you actually don't have any preconceptions and really try things, don't change your pickups before you try them. Like, if you bought a Les Paul and you want to upgrade it, just try them first. You know, just try everything before you want to upgrade it, or else you've got no baseline to compare anything to. If you get a guitar, and I've got a Les Paul copy on eBay for 200 quid, and before I've even plugged it in, I've ripped that out, I've got nothing to compare it to. So it might sound great, but nothing will be as good as if you've got something to compare it to. And the one extra thing you've sneakily chucked in for a few extra tones, which just an extra. It's not as important as the other ones.
I almost forgot about this actually.
You've got a few little hidden tricks.
So we've got a push-pull pop on both the tone for the bridge for both pickups, and that's basically switching them between series and parallel. So it just means, I mean, you'll hear it, hopefully we'll do a little bit playing where you can hear the different tones and what we can go through, but it just gives you some different tones. It just allows another set of tones to come out the guitar as well as the, you know, the pickup positions. But I mean, you're probably better explaining this more than I do. I mean, I know the great Neil at NRG Effects, who did the wiring on this, he very fondly described the workings of it all and what you can do and the amazing things, and I kind of, it went in it one ear and out the other. I didn't retain it, so yeah.
Well,
it's
I think
brilliant.
I think,
you know, I'm a simple guy, so you know.
I'm itching to get back playing it. So
yeah,
let's show you how all this sounds, and see you again in a minute. So I hope from this video you've been able to get some ideas and some, you know, inspiration on some different things that you might want to do to upgrade your guitar.
Yeah, so it's not that expensive if you can grab a pair of pickups, you know, change your pots over, new switch if that warrants it on a Les Paul, but just kind of basic things that you'd be amazed the sort of amount of improvement you can get out of just chucking a couple of bits on it, you know. And
remember, just improve the things that you need improving. Yeah. Don't do it because anyone else says that it should be this way. Yeah. This guitar was a 90s guitar that needed a lot of TLC. Yeah. Whereas if we'd got a new one today, we would have had a really good, you know, day or so of just playing it, listen to each other play it, feel it, talk to each other, you know, and see what happens. Because the tuners on here are an ideal example of that. Yeah. They don't drop the tuning, they look cool. Yeah. Thought they'd need to go, but they don't. Well, that's the thing. That was the one thing I said, because I kind of went in with like, just make it good, you know. And I left it up to Mark and the guys, and he said, look, actually, this needs that. Don't worry about the tuners. Don't worry about that. And it's like he was really good with that kind of, you know, just the general advice really. So you don't want to be kind of sold to and having to do everything under the sun. It just it had what he needed doing, you know. Exactly. So you'll see this guitar now in a lot more of our videos, so please subscribe to the channel, like the video if you liked it, to see more of this and more of us playing and being idiots like usual. We've got loads of cool stuff coming up, including a really cool video that Rich may do on his own. Yeah. About the little trick you've got. I've got a trick up my sleeve. Got a trick up my sleeve. We're going to leave it at that. Yeah. So subscribe, like, love us, share us, do whatever you want. See you soon. Bye.